Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my NFL Week 15 Top 10 Best Bets, where I go through my top 10 best bets of the upcoming week for the NFL and then give a little surprise parlay at the end. So let's get right into it. My first bet, the Chiefs at Chargers, the over 51. This line keeps getting bet up. I think it's at 51.5 right now. The NFL is desperate for a primetime shootout. You've got Mahomes. You've got Justin Herbert. I understand why it's only 51 right now. That's due to the Chiefs' defense. It's no joke. But this game is in LA. It's in a dome. Mahomes and that Chiefs offense have been rolling, but Mahomes really hasn't had a massive breakout game recently. They won 48-9, but his stats weren't unbelievably impressive. I think this is a game where Mahomes goes crazy. 400 passing yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Justin Herbert's playing catch-up. Both these teams potentially into the 30s. This game is definitely going over 51 on Thursday night. Number 2, the Bills -11 versus the Panthers. The Panthers just aren't good, and the Bills seem to have a tendency to score a ton of points at home. Josh Allen and that offense can definitely score, and I never do this, but I am doubling up on this game. I'm going also with the Panthers at the Bills, the over 43.5. Once again, my thought process, the Bills score a lot of points at home. I think they could easily put up 30 points or 30-plus points against Carolina, and then you've got the Panthers, you know, their offense, it's been struggling, but they can still generate some offense with DJ Moore if they're playing catch-up. Maybe Cam Newton gets a rushing touchdown or two, whatever. I'll take the Bills minus the 11 and also the over in this game in general. Number 4, Washington at the Eagles, the under 43.5. Guys, let's not overthink this one. There's quarterback problems. We're expecting cloudy weather there in Philadelphia, maybe about 40 degrees, just dreary weather. This game has 23-17 written all over it. Let's be real, folks. We don't know if Taylor Heineke's going to play, although I'll be honest, Kyle Allen really isn't that much worse than Taylor Heineke. And then when it comes to the Eagles, Gardner Minshew had a really good game, but let's be honest, against the Jets, come on. He's due for a bad one if he plays. Otherwise, Jalen Hurts, I guess, in the red zone, his running ability is impressive, but other than that, this game will go under in bad weather in Philadelphia, cold weather, and cloudy conditions. Number 5, Steelers plus 1.5 versus the Titans. I just can't buy the Titans. I really can't. And you've got a Pittsburgh team. They were getting crushed by Minnesota. They come back. They're still showing something on the offensive side of the ball with Deontay Johnson. It's an emotional time for Pittsburgh. Big Ben's last year. It's an emotional time for Pittsburgh. Big Ben's last year. They're right in the thick of the playoff race, sitting at 6-6-1. And again, I just cannot buy the Titans. They really do miss Derrick Henry. They did beat Jacksonville in cover, although they only scored 20 points. I think that had a lot more to do with Jacksonville's just completely disaster of a season and less to do with the Titans and their defense. I like the Steelers to win this game outright, so I'll take them plus 1.5. Number 6, another AFC North team, the Bengals plus 1.5 at the Broncos. The Bengals are coming off a bad loss. They're going to want to get back on track. I understand why they're the underdogs here. The game is in Denver. You're going East Coast to West Coast time. It's tough to play. It's tough to score points against that Broncos defense, the way they've been bringing some really good pressure recently, but I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Teddy Bridgewater, and I trust the Bengals to get pressure on Teddy Bridgewater and really maybe win kind of a lower scoring game. I have them winning this game 27-19. I think they win outright. They're desperate. All these teams in the AFC North are desperate for wins. They all are. The 49ers -9 versus the Falcons. I think the 49ers are going to absolutely destroy the Falcons. I said that yesterday. This line keeps moving up. I saw it opened at 8. It was at 8.5 last night, and now it's at 9. The Falcons are terrible. The 49ers are fighting for a playoff spot. This is going to get ugly. You're going East Coast, West Coast. The Falcons are really, their fans are probably rooting for them to lose. There's no reason for them to win. You've got a veteran quarterback who, we don't really know what Matt Ryan's future is right now. I don't think he's going to be with the Falcons next year, or at, best case for him, they're going to be drafting someone that's going to end up replacing him. So the Falcons, really, there's no incentive for them to win games. Calvin Ridley's still not playing. They did get a win last week in Carolina, which is why all the more reason I think they're due for a really bad performance this week, traveling on the road. San Francisco coming off that big win in Cincinnati. They're going to be ready to go, and they're going to absolutely throttle Atlanta. They're going to win this game by 20-plus points at home. Number 8, the Seahawks at the Rams, the over 47. This was a gut reaction when I had originally first seen these games. I love the over in this game. Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford in a dome. I know the Seahawks offense has not been good lately. My guess is the Rams go up early in this one, maybe score a couple touchdowns, first quarter, early second quarter, whatever. Seahawks playing catch up. And again, Russell Wilson, this Seahawks offense, it's been bad. We understand it, but they still have Tyler Lockett. They still have DK Metcalf. They can definitely do some things on the offensive side of the football. And the Rams, we saw what they did in Arizona. You've got Cooper Kupp. OBJ is acclimating into that offense, and an underrated receiver there in Van Jefferson as their wide receiver 3. So give me the over in this game. Dome game, 2 good quarterbacks. Should be a higher scoring game where both teams are in it. Maybe the Seahawks playing a little catch-up. I'll take the over. Number 9, Buccaneers, -11 versus the Saints. Basically an identical situation to the last Sunday Night Football game where you had an all-time great quarterback at home as a heavy favorite. Aaron Rodgers, -12.5 versus the Bears. It was scary for a little bit with the Bears special teams playing really well, but Aaron Rodgers ended up covering the 12.5-point spread at home. Now you've got Tom Brady. Pushing for that MVP this late in his career. He's going to be motivated to put up 3 or 4 touchdowns against a bad Saints team. They've got a decent defense and a really bad offense. I think this spirals out of control on the Saints quickly, and they get blown out. I'll take the Bucs -11. That's a Sunday Night Football game. And then the Monday night game. This is the auto lock of the century, folks. The Vikings at the Bears, just the straight under 44. These games at Soldier Field, the Monday night games, it's 20 degrees. Justin Fields is a rookie. Kirk Cousins on the road in the cold. I just don't see many points being generated in this game. I will take the under 44. Those are my top 10 best bets. And then I also have a few more exclusive bets here. We've got the Chiefs team total over 27.5. Pair that with the Chargers team total over 23.5. I think both of these teams could potentially score 30-plus points. This is a dome game, Thursday Night Football. The NFL is desperate, folks. They're desperate for a shootout. They're going to be throwing pass interference flags like crazy. They want both of these teams. They want 2 premier quarterbacks in a dome to score a lot of points. They want Herbert throwing for 3 touchdowns. They want Mahomes throwing for 3 touchdowns. Both of these teams, it's going to be 37-34, 37-30, something like that. Both of these teams go over their team total. And then just the Raiders at the Browns, the under 42. This is the Saturday game at 4:30. The Raiders, terrible performance last week. They're on the road again, Eastern Standard Time. It's tough. At Cleveland, the Browns, I'm just concerned about this Browns offense really generating any points. You key in on the run game. Baker Mayfield is injured. He did look a little bit healthier last week after the bye against the Ravens, but overall, still that Browns offense, I believe 0 points in the second half. I just can't trust them. I saw the overall spread on this game was Cleveland -6. I would probably take Vegas to cover. I'm looking at something like a 20-17 type game in cold weather with the Browns winning. I think the Browns are a lock to win, but I would not pick them to cover 6 points. And then the 49ers team total over 27.5. The Falcons don't have a good defense. The 49ers, they're a well put together team. You've got Deebo Samuel. You've got some good young running backs there. They're going to go way over the 27.5. Bears team total under 20.5. That's just, that Vikings-Bears game is guaranteed to go under, and I don't know how the Bears are going to score over 20. I don't see them generating 3 touchdowns. Maybe they get 2 touchdowns on a field goal, 2 touchdowns on 2 field goals. I don't see them generating 3 total touchdowns there to get over. And then, of course, my weekly parlay, I've got the Browns money line versus the Raiders. Once again, game's probably going to be very close, but I do not see the Browns losing this game. They are in the thick of the wild card race. They're extremely motivated. The Raiders are coming off a very disappointing loss. Browns 6-point favorites, but because it's a parlay, I'll just take them money line. I don't want to have to worry about the point spread because I'm parlaying these. Cardinals money line at the Lions. I believe they're 13.5-point favorites right now. Basically an auto lock. The Lions have no reason to win. If they lose out, they clinch the #1 overall pick. Bills money line versus Panthers. Love the Bills this week coming off that close loss against Tampa Bay where they came back and then lost in overtime. Next, we've got Steelers money line versus the Titans. I've talked about this game earlier. I do not trust the Titans without Derrick Henry. Big Ben, his last year. This Steelers team, they're motivated. They still do have a good defense. They've got good, a few talented receivers, Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I think they do enough to get a close home win against Tennessee. 49ers money line versus Falcons. Pretty self-explanatory there. The Bucs money line is versus the Saints. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then the Vikings at the Bears going under 46.5, so I'm buying a few points there. The actual over-under is 44. I would also take that, but because this is a parlay, my overall strategy changes a little bit. I will take the under 46.5, excuse me, and then for this one, you guys can see the overall odds plus 849. That is a 17 parlay with 6 straight-up money lines, along with 1 over-under, that being the Monday night game, Vikings at the Bears. The only issue I could see here, I think the Browns are pretty much a lock to beat the Ravens. They're just more motivated. The Cardinals at the Lions plays. You don't even have to worry about that. Bears versus the Panthers, don't have to worry about it. The only one I would say, the Steelers versus the Titans, would be an iffy one. 49ers versus the Falcons is a lock. Bucks versus the Saints is a lock. And then the under 46.5 to me is a complete lock. That game has 20-17 written all over it. Maybe even like 16-7 or something. That's going to be a very low-scoring game. I love very low-scoring games in the cold, and we're going to get that on Monday night. Not the best primetime games, a really good Thursday primetime game and a really good Saturday primetime game, which I don't feel great about, so I didn't include it in my bets, but the Patriots at the Colts, another really good. That game's on Saturday night. But guys, that is going to do it for my top 10 best bets of week number 15. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, The Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.